Morning, Kris.
Good morning.
Just maybe wondering, do we read anything into a full skate like this on a game day? It seemed like the group was pretty high paced. They just sensed the group is maybe trying to just make sure for tonight.
Well, it was a team skate. Yesterday we went lighter, focused on puck touches, and we wanted them on the ice today and yesterday. Just maximize this amount of puck touches they had, and the passing, and I think the one thing we were missing in our game one was just the execution of when we had the puck, and I just think we just need to move it around a little bit more.
Maybe just a thought on Chicago, if you can. We all know that they got a heck of a shooter in Bedard, but just overall the threat they can pose if you take them lightly.
Oh, absolutely. They're a completely different team than they were last year, and you're looking at, 7 to 9 players that are new to their roster, depending on how you look at it. Like players that were with them last year but played very few games because of injuries, and then this year just the changes that they made, especially with their free agents. Yeah, it's a completely different team. So to think of them as a bottom feeder like they were last year is pretty much a farce. They're much better, and and that shows with the improvements they made throughout their roster.
I don't know if you'll answer this, but I'll ask it anyway. Was this one of those practices where the leadership group staff and said we need a full practice?
No.
Do you trying to turn over a preseason that wasn't great into a start of a season that is great? It's hard, and you showed the first game there was a bit of a struggle. Do you are there things you can pinpoint? Is there a strategy that you could think of? Is there something you do different? Is there, how do you make the transition?
I think the first game, there were some mistakes. I think the biggest mistakes were just how we handled the puck, and not that we were forcing things. It was just having the jitters, having the, there's 5 times in the first period where we had the puck and we just gave it away, not because we were trying a low percentage pass or anything like that. It was just, we just mishandled the puck. There's not much we can do about that rather than just being in a good frame of mind and being ready to play, and not putting too much pressure on yourself to execute. And I think it's having the home opener out of the way. I think we're in a good spot that we'll be ready.
Hi, Kris. Was this a scheduled start for Calvin Pickard, or did you guys kind of change things up based on what happened on Wednesday?
No, it was scheduled that he was going to play. Skins wasn't going to play back-to-back this weekend, and this was a scheduled start.
When you look at Calvin, obviously comes up in November last year, really positive story for your team. How does he carry that forward? What are you kind of expecting from him in terms of the workload and kind of the expectations, I guess, for the coming season?
Yeah, we've got it mapped out, how many games that he'd play, and we've actually went through the whole schedule, and obviously it changes as we approach, as we get closer to that time. But, you're looking at your backup goalie playing, some as few as 20, some as many as 40 games. So he's probably somewhere in between that mark. And last year was, maybe a little unexpected, where here's almost a career American League goalie, some NHL experience, and then coming in at his age, at the point of his career, and then coming in and having the season he did. And I'm not sure, I don't recall what his save percentage was, maybe about 910, 912 or something. That was one of the bright spots on our season last year, and we had many of them, and that was among them. Now, the expectations, of my players, that's the player I know. That's the player I have confidence in. Last year he came in with an outstanding attitude. We needed a big game out of him, whether we were playing a back-to-back or he might have went 10 days without a start, and then he went in there. He always played well for us. And, I know the guys like him. He's a very popular guy, and he gives off a lot of confidence and excitement in the dressing room just because of his personality. Guys like playing when he's in net. So, what we saw last year is kind of what I expect from him this year.
Hey, Kris. What are the key things, other than the result tonight, that will deem a successful game in your eyes?
I think just keeping our game simple and moving the puck quickly, making those small little plays, and you know, there'll be times where especially our skilled players will, you know, do something spectacular. But it's just, I think it's important just not to force those things, and you know, as I said before, just keeping our game simple.
If I can get you to kind of step out of the head coach role for a second, and just the fact that your family's here, observing practice and in the city with you, when you reflect on the past year and the whirlwind that it's been, what's it like to be able to experience all of this with them?
Well, it makes my life a lot easier. Just the fact that I'm at the rink, and no matter how good or how bad the game went, I can go home and share it with my family and get away from it also. You know, it's tough being away from the family for that extended period of time, and there was stretches I didn't see them for much too long. But this year, us all being together makes my life a lot happier.
Kris, just a word on losing Raphael Lavoie after a bit of back and forth this week.
Pardon?
Just a word on Raphael Lavoie after a bit of back and forth with Vegas this week.
Yeah, no, not much to comment. Just that, you know, with the way our team was, not having a spot with him, being very close to making our team, and you know, another team that felt that they have an opportunity for him. Now, what they do with him, I can't comment on that, but yeah, not much to say.